Weekly series called Commons Folk, which introduces you to MPs, not just rookies. We have some veterans coming up on the show. Today's guest, Alexandre Boulerice. Alexandre is a Montreal riding MP. He was elected in the Orange Wave of May 2nd for the first time. He's been tormenting poor Tony Clement as the Treasury Board president for most of his time in the House of Commons, and he joins me from Montreal. Welcome to the show, Alexandre. Appreciate you coming in.
My pleasure.
Okay, you're a father of four, and you were a former journalist, and I'm wondering what got you interested in politics. I think this was your second run, was it not?
Exactly, it was my second one, and I was supposed to win only on the third one, so it was quite a surprise, like a lot of others in Quebec. But it's been really fun since then, and I've been involved in politics, I think, all my life since I'm a teenager. I've always been interested in helping others in common good, too.
What happens to a journalist when they get the political itch? I mean, what got you thinking, well, I can do better in the House of Commons than I can covering politics as a journalist?
But, you know, between my journalist years and now my new MP job, I've been for almost 10 years a communication rep for the Canadian Union of Public Employees. So I was already, you know, involved, engaged in social change and defending people. So and one day I realized it was much more fun and much more effective, in my view, to try to be the actor of the change, not only the witness of the change.
Yeah, that's interesting. You did mention earlier your electoral success came a little earlier. Were you pretty surprised when you woke up on May 2nd and well, I should say go to bed on May 2nd and find yourself an MP?
You know, it was not more surprised then, because we could sense on the streets with the people that, you know, there were a real wave coming, but the size of this tide was not expected. But, you know, there was a real thrill of the people for the NDP, for progressive ideas, for Jack Layton, and we will continue this work as we do since a few months.
You've made quite a name for yourself. You seem to show no fear in the House of Commons as you go after some of these cabinet ministers that have been around for an awful long time. Weren't you ever nervous? Weren't you ever uncomfortable in there? It seems like you were proverbial duck to water in the House of Commons.
It's a lot of fun, you know, because they are giving us good scandals almost every week. So why should be afraid? They are making the bad decisions, those guys. But I have to admit that the first time I went up, my hands were a little wet, but it didn't last for long. After a few days, it was, oh my God, I really like to be on the back of Tony Clement and force him to stay on his chair, and then John Baird has to answer for him because he's too embarrassed.
I'm curious, if we're talking to you in 5 years or so, what you'll hope you have accomplished as an MP.
Oh, in 5 years we will have another federal election then, so I hope that in 5 years we will replace the Harper Conservatives. That will be a good thing to do.
Yes, you could be Treasury Board president by then and be facing some angry conservative across the hall giving you a hard time. You know that, eh?
No, I know that, but it's the name of the game, and I prefer to be the one who makes the decisions than watching them making bad ones.
Last question on behalf of a lot of women around Ottawa. Are you single, or are you married, or what are you?
I'm married, and together we have 4 kids. So my partner is a wonderful woman.
She's got to be a wonderful woman to put up with 4 kids while you're in Ottawa. Okay, Alexandre Boulerice, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Okay, that's it for Power Play for this day. You're all caught up on a busy day on Parliament Hill. We're back here tomorrow live at 5 and again at 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope you'll tune in then. Thanks for watching. I'm Don Martin. Good night.